share a few words with all of us.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To start with, let me thank the organizers for having given me this opportunity to come and share a few thoughts on cybersecurity. I was just joking with somebody before I walked in, and I said that the cybersecurity too important and too intellectually stimulating a subject to be left to the admirals and generals of the armed forces. So you beat us all to this game. Before I start saying what I have to say, I just wish to share an incident which took place, which I'm sure some of our very distinguished panelists who are sitting here from the US, they would probably know. The cyber world was just about beginning to sort of move into the arena of armed forces, and obviously it had to be the US being the leaders in all kinds of technology. And it was just prior to the Iran-Iraq war, the first time around, when the Americans had to intervene for all good reasons. Otherwise, they could have destroyed each other. And the operations orders were issued both in writing, and as you know, once the fleet and the ships sail into high seas, there are very few methods of communicating with them. And one is, of course, the high frequency transmission, and then you have the satellite communication. And as you're aware that they had just started using the satellite network for cyber connectivity. And they were told, the fleet commander was told that as you go along, we will keep passing you orders, but you have to be crossing the Gulf of Hormuz. If I'm sure most of you know, the Gulf of Hormuz is the narrowest area in the Persian Gulf, or the Gulf as it is called, so that I don't offend my friends from Arabia. So it is the narrowest portion, and it has been the endeavor of the whole world to keep it open all the time, because it happens to be lifeline for the energy resources to the whole world, and it's in interest of everybody. So the American fleet, it sailed out, and they were supposed to be at a particular place at a particular time, which meant that they had to do a particular speed continuously for so many days. And they would get the orders to move from the Pentagon on the net, on the secured net. Well, that's what the Pentagon thought. And after 2 days of having gone out to sea, when they were asked for a position report, they were quite shocked that the fleet was at least 400 to 500 miles in the opposite direction of where they were supposed to go. And they had to make an ETA, an estimated time of arrival at a particular place, which was the Gulf of Hormuz. And they were all pushing off in a very vague direction. Then they started checking out. They said, hey, come on, first of all, you just turn back and head in so-and-so direction and just move on. And how the hell have you gone to so-and-so place and you're not supposed to be there? He said, no, but your orders have said so. Which order? And they started going through the instructions which were passed on the net, on a secured net, using the satellite communication. It was the first trial. They realized that every time they were passing the latitude and longitude of the position where the ships were supposed to be, it was being received entirely differently, just the opposite. What had happened was that another army officer of the rank of major, who was posted in Pentagon and into the game that you are in the cyber game, he was actually hacking this net. And every time a latitude, longitude was being passed, he was sitting on it for a moment and he was actually changing it just to prove his point, because he's been laboring very hard to tell everybody in Pentagon that, look, it's not secured. What you think is secured is not secured, and I can prove it to you. And they thought he was joking, that they didn't take him seriously. Of course, he was punished very suitably because the whole fleet got delayed in reaching. Why I mention this is because the most advanced country in the world, the pioneers in cyberspace, when they thought it was very secured and a lot of people don't know much about it, it was not secured. And that is when they all started looking at cyber security in a very serious manner. So having said that, I thought I will share this incident with you. It's an incident. What has happened that world is not round anymore, it's become flat with this cyber connectivity, because it doesn't follow the traditional sort of great circle track. It does not follow the Mercator track, in which you have to follow the contours of the landmass, because it is not. It is going straight. It is available all the time. It is riding a sort of medium which does not get affected by the the roundness of the earth, and therefore we say the world is flat as far as cyberspace is concerned. And the proliferation of internet and the associated technology is what has made this world a global village, as is a very popularly known term. You go anywhere, you say go to shopping, you use telephones, you go to banking, booking tickets of airlines, train, bus, hotel, you name it, and it involves the internet or the technology which actually is called the cyber technology. When the technology becomes more complex, all it means is that it is trying to make life for people that much easier. Easier the life because of technology, it means that it is that much more complex. And the flip side is that the irony of the situation is, the more complex the technology becomes, the more easy the life becomes, that much more it is vulnerable to failure. When I say failure, it doesn't mean a failure of technology, but the failure of securing it. The more number of walls, more number of obstructions you put, you will find that there is somebody who is always thinking how to pick a hole in this. And it's a sort of cat and mouse game. You know better than I do, because you have much more fertile brain, you have many years ahead of you. I am only seeing the end result towards my last few years of my service career. So the technology which is empowering, it is also the same technology which can disrupt this technology. So there are no borders in the cyberspace. As I said, it's a flat world. We can go anywhere. We don't have any borders. So we not only have to secure our land, sea and air, but I think the cyber is a new front, the new front of warfare, which does not have line of control, which does not have a boundary line. It's a sort of through and through. So it's that much more difficult to secure it. Some recent incidents which I will add to what I said in the beginning. One is the 26/11 attack on Mumbai, the cyber attack on Estonia in April and May 2007, followed by in Georgia in August 2008. These are very stark examples of how vulnerable we are and how difficult it is to say that I am fully secured. The entire war was sort of, it became so muddled that you just have to pick up some history book and you will find it. The Chinese cyber attack on His Holiness Dalai Lama's network, as brought in the GhostNet study, and July 2009 attack on the South Korea and USA gives an indication as to how cyber warfare is evolving. A report which has been compiled by the McAfee Inc. in 2008 with inputs from NATO, the Federal Bureau of Investigation and very leading security related groups and academic institutions has revealed that as many as 120 countries are now actively engaged in web-based espionage